And we are live. We are in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, at whatever time you are listening to this podcast, to this episode. Hello, hi, welcome back to another episode of Breathe with me. And I am your host, Manny. It's your boy, Manny. And yeah, today's going to be a little bit different. Today, we're just going to have, not really different, but different in the sense that it's not going to be a scripted conversation. This episode is coming, well, again, like all my episodes, they're going to be coming from a place of my heart. They're going to be coming from a place of my thoughts, right? But this episode specifically is not per se scripted, right? So I'm kind of going off the cuff right now. Don't really know what I'm going to talk about, but I know I'm going to talk about something. That's cap. I do know what I'm going to talk about. What I really want to talk about, or what I really want to converse with you guys right now, is just to give you guys an update with my life per se. To give you guys an update with this week, the past week, and the week prior to that, because I missed out, or I did not put out an episode last week. And the reason why that was because your boy was going through a creative block. Your boy was going through a mental block. I became really frustrated with myself. Didn't really talk about it with anybody, but I became really frustrated with myself, and ultimately I just didn't feel like I was able to create. So that was why no episode was put out last week. But please accept my sincere apologies, and just know that I'm trying to overcome that creative block. But yes, so within this episode, I kind of just want to give you guys an update on this week, my week last week, and the week prior to that. As I said to you, I was kind of going through a creative rocky period where I felt quite stagnant, in the sense that I just wasn't able to produce what I wanted to produce. I had several things that I wanted to talk about, but things just weren't clicking as I wanted them to click, and it was just a rough time in general. And then that kind of takes me on to the conversation that I've had with my friend yesterday, and just how my week last week was. I upon reflection now, and having having gone through a scrupulous examination of my week last week, I was able to understand that I really did not give myself enough time to myself. Right, I divided myself so much with my work, with my training, with other people, that I really did not give myself enough time to just sit down, be in isolation, and just breathe. Right, and I feel like as a creative, you need time to just do nothing. You need time to just sit down and just think, maybe go for a walk. Maybe, I don't know, go for a walk, go to the gym, just do something that doesn't involve you doing anything, if that makes sense. Basically, just resting. Basically, just finding rest and just resting. Now, if you, I really sound like a hypocrite here right now, because if you know me, you know that I find it really difficult to rest. I'm still trying to overcome that. I'm still trying to find the best way to find my rest. Sometimes I'm good at resting, other times I am horrible. I find it really difficult to rest, because I always feel the need to be doing something. Um, Again, whether that is work, whether that's work, whether that is training, whether that is finding some sort of work, or learning something new, or reading a book. I always find I always feel the need to do something, right? And last week and the week before, I just divided myself up with work, my training, other people, other responsibilities. That it just makes sense as to why I was going through a creative block, because I didn't give myself enough time to myself, and that is something that I'm changing. It's something that I feel like as a creative we really do need to take into consideration, is having time to yourself, right? And if you are a creative, if you're not a creative, having time to yourself is also very important, because it allows you to think, it allows you to be more introspective about yourself. I believe. So that is one aspect that I really wanted to update you guys on, was just the fact that I didn't give myself enough time last week. But now I'm giving myself enough time. And, with these episodes are essentially a way for me to also just breathe, right? To just to be vulnerable with you guys and be vulnerable with myself, right? To kind of speak about things that maybe I've spoken out with friends or things that I've not really spoken to friends about. And this whole topic of not giving myself downtime is something that I've just kept to myself. It's not something that I've really spoken to other people about as well. So that is one aspect of my past week. Another aspect that I want to talk about, which I'm trying to remember. Give me a second. I'm trying to remember, but I'm going to keep talking just so you guys don't click away from this right now. How do you guys find rest? How do you guys take time to yourself? Like, do you actually schedule time to yourself, or do you just give yourself time whenever you can give yourself time, if that makes sense? Or do you like actively say, cool, on a Monday at 6 to 8 p.m., this is just me time. This is just time for me to just do nothing and just be, because I don't do that, right? That is something that I don't do. Maybe it's something that I need to do. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. You know what? Today's Tuesday. I'll try it out. Yeah, I'll try it out for the rest of the week. I'm going to give myself a certain period of time to just rest, see if anything changes. If it doesn't, well, yeah, you'll hear about it again in the next episode or the next episode after that. Not going to lie to you. My week has been good. The week prior and the week prior to that has been good. You know, I've faced some difficulties or some challenging times at work. I faced some challenging times with myself, but nothing major that has kept me in a negative space, which I am grateful for and I thank God for. Is the fact that I can't think of anything right now that was so major that kept me in a negative space. It was just that whole not being able to produce and stuff like that. Ooh, I just remembered. Sorry, that was very high pitched. But anyway, I just remembered that one other thing that I want to talk about was social media. Oh my God. Social media. Talk about it. All right. I'm going to talk about it. Okay. We're going to talk about it right now. Give me a minute. Let me just drink some water. Right. Social media. So I've been trying to take myself away from social media, and it's difficult. It's a difficult one because obviously I'm trying to produce, I'm trying to create, and I almost feel like I have to be on social media because I'm trying to obviously spread a message. I'm obviously trying to speak to a lot of people from my little bubble, from my little house. I'm trying to, spread out the word, right? And that is one of the beauty of social media is the fact that you can be in a certain location yet around the world at the same time, right? That is one of the good things about social media, which I'm trying to navigate. And I'm not sure if I've really mastered it just yet. I don't think I have. And that's fair. That's fair. I don't really think I've fully mastered it, but one thing I did notice is that I have posted a lot less on social media the past week, even this week as well. And it's almost like, it's almost like, it's almost like I have a pressure to perform on social media. It's almost like, because I am trying to do this whole podcast, because I'm trying to spread my message, all these kind of things, all this kind of jazz. It's almost like I do feel a pressure to perform. And that is something that I'm trying to navigate as well. But one thing about me is that my mental health, my health will always come first, right? So if at any time I feel like social media is a bit much for me, I am going to distance myself from social media. I'm going to be on social media a lot less. I'm going to post on social media a lot less. If that means that I lose a few followers here and there, so be it, right? So be it. But I am always going to take care of myself, of my mental health first and foremost. And I've actually noticed that, well, this is probably common sense, right? But I've noticed that if I go off social media for a week, I lose a certain number of followers. And then if I come back and if I start posting, I gain a certain number of followers. And it's really annoying because I'm just like, do I always have to be on social media? It's just that whole mindset of, do I always have to be on social media? Because obviously I'm trying to grow my followers. I'm trying to spread the word, all them kind of jazz. And it's just almost like a pressure to perform. Let me just quickly scan through my journal to see what else I want to touch on in this episode right now. Because like I said to you guys, this episode is very, very unscripted, right? Mainly because I didn't want to not produce, or I didn't want to not put out an episode this week as well. So I said, you know what? Let's just jump at the mic. Let's just speak from a place of the heart. Let's just speak unscriptedly. And yeah, it's funny because I'm going through my journal right now, and there's actually quite a lot that I want to talk about. But they are individual topics in themselves, and it's gonna be good. They're gonna be good. It's funny because my journal usually starts off the same way. I wake up in the morning, and I just write, "Good morning, dear diary. Good morning, God." And then I kind of go into a little spiel about my night, about my day. If I've had any dreams, I write them down as well, what I think they mean, all them kind of jazz. And yeah, I kind of start off my day kind of like writing a love letter to God, essentially. Um, that is really how my journal always starts. It's basically like a love letter to God, thanking Him for the breath, thanking Him for, giving me basically everything that I have, just thanking Him for allowing me to wake up this day, because each and every day that I am awake is another day to glorify God. Each and every day that I am alive, each and every day that He gives me life and breath is another day for me to do amazing works for Him, under His name, under His leadership, under His kingship, and under His headship. All the ships. All the ships. I wrote something called Reel Yourself Together, and that was on the 3rd of this month, which was not too long ago. Okay, let me read this to you, and let me see what jumps out to me. It goes, so it has been a couple of days away. I have let myself go. I don't want to go into this right now. Yeah, I want to be vulnerable with you guys. Let me not lie, but yeah, we will dive into that one later, not right now. But yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, we're definitely not going into that right now. That is very interesting. Okay, right. Sorry, I'm just if you're on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing right now, and if you are on Apple or Spotify, I'm basically just reading a journal entry that I wrote, and it is, yeah, it's a little bit spicy, shall I say? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Cool. Yes. So essentially, that's basically it. Let me not keep you guys anymore. Thank you very much for jumping into this episode. Thank you very much for listening to me just spieling out my heart, to me just being a little bit vulnerable with you guys just now, and just giving you an unscripted update of my life the prior week. I think the main thing that I really just wanted to speak about was just that whole aspect of downtime, not giving myself enough time to myself, which made it quite difficult for me to produce, which made it quite difficult for me to actually be one with myself. My camera has just stopped recording right now. That's going to be quite interesting. It's been a pleasure speaking to you guys. I will catch you guys in the next episode of Breathe with me. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye. Bye.